Consider this your trigger warning. The following program is strictly satire and is not meant to be taken seriously. So don't get all butthurt, you liberal snowflakes, just because we skewer your sacred cows and expose all your lies and hypocrisy. Truth hurts, and so does satire. So grab a drink, pull up a chair, and enjoy the show.
Hey everyone, welcome back. It is the Prepared Mind channel. It is Sunday Night Live. It is the zoo. And at the zoo, you know what that means? Well, if you don't, I'm going to share it with you. The zoo is YouTube, our flagship website, thepreparedmind.club, subscribestar.com, Facebook, X, BitChute, Rumble, and wherever else we've been pirated to. And it's okay. It's okay to be a pirate as far as I'm concerned, as long as we're getting the word out about getting prepared. And it is Sunday Night Live. That means we're going to do a lot of different things here. We're going to look into the future. We're going to look back at the past, and we're going to examine where we're at in the present and see what the hell is going on and how we can best be prepared. But I got to tell you, you already know the basics, whether it's an asteroid or aliens, whether it's domestic terrorism or alien terrorism. It's always the same, right? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and your plan. So we've got the basics down. Sunday Night Live is the zoo because everyone is here, and this really is the best show of the week. It's a lot of fun. What else are you going to do on a Sunday night but hang out and talk about shit hitting the fan, Armageddon, the end of the world, and the potential freedom that we can all enjoy if we defeat evil. Folks, you got to laugh, you got to smile, otherwise you got to cry, and I'm not giving up. So I'm going to laugh, smile, face the beast. And we do fundraising also. So this is how this works. Down in the comment section, video description, you got CashApp, Venmo, PayPal for doing super chats, or right up there, there's a super chat button. You punch on that. We'll get you right down on the screen, and you'll see how that works. Your donations keep the show going. Keeps the bunker stocked with tuna fish and Spam. It keeps the scotch fresh, along with any other preps we need, and it pays for, folks. It pays for all the technical support, the subscriptions, and everything we need. Servers, holy cow. Oh, internet programs, anti-spyware, all the shit we got. It's weird how much shit goes on behind the scenes. It's not just some dumbass Swede sitting here behind the microphone and camera blabbing. Anyways, it just looks that way. So let's start off the show this week right out the gate with Darcy T. She's checking in with a $50 PayPal super chat donation, and surprise, for all you new folks, a $50 or more super chat buys me a scotch. And this is going to be the last bottle of Glenlivet 15 I've got before I go back to probably the Founder's Reserve. Scotch. Anyways, scotch it is. Scotch it was. Scotch it always shall be. Semper Fi. Salut. Prost. God bless America. Down the hatch. That's a start. Here we go, folks. Darcy T starts off. Her question is, what is really going on with the military on the streets of D.C., as in Washington, D.C.? She writes, I think it's martial law light, and they are testing out America's reaction to having troops on the street with regularity. They were called out in L.A. initially, now in D.C., and he's also looking at Oakland, he meaning President Trump. To keep us safe, no doubt. I think she's being facetious. After they caused the conditions by which we were made unsafe. That's right. This is all caused by Washington, D.C. and governors around the nation. It truly was. But she continues and says, or maybe the next lockdown is right around the corner. Maybe a climate lockdown. Just wondering. Well, thank you for the great support, Darcy T, and the scotch, and the topic, because it's a great one to kick the show off with. So I'm going to go at your questions backwards. You ended it, maybe a climate change will be used to lock us down. Well, they're doing that in Canada right now. They're trying to lock people out of the woods, saying, well, we don't want you guys to start fires. And then they were like, well, it's just not safe. As if people being in the wilderness is a new item, and they just discovered it's just not safe. Going back to caveman days, man has had to traverse the wild, always trying to stay on trails that are established, pathways that are known, taking routes. And then we did this thing called roads in civilization, hiking shoes, phones, EPIRBs, and other emergency devices, as well as self-preservation devices known as guns. They're trying to lock us down. Many cities in Europe, and the discussion is now on in America and indeed Canada, about 15-minute cities. That's where they want to put you into a location, and that's all you can do. You've got to stay right there within 15 minutes. Your life, your house, your work, your recreation, 15 minutes. There are some United States that are looking at severely limiting your right to travel. It is not permission to travel. It is a right to travel. It is a God-given right, not a state-given privilege. But they want to start doing it. And according to the Genius Act, which I don't think is very genius at all, they're trying to backdoor surveillance and our currency, a central bank digital currency, to be able to punish us, lock us down, monitor us, control us, persuade us, scare us. Look at how many people won't say a word. They will not say a word about anything because they're afraid they're going to get in trouble. Isn't that fascinating? People are afraid they're going to get in trouble, so they don't say anything. That is exactly the wrong thing that government should be doing. Well, unless they want to become dictatorial assholes. Now, moving back through Darcy T's question, to keep us safe. That's why they want to bring in troops. Well, I tell you what. Yes, they're starting with what? They started with, let's put down riots in LA. Right now, they're at Washington, D.C. is not safe. Bam. Another martial law light type of action. And the people, folks, the people in D.C., well, at least the ones that step in front of cameramen and want to do interviews, are saying they feel safer. They can drive with their windows down. I'm thinking, who the hell drives with their windows down? We all have air conditioning now, because life is so hard. They drive with their windows down at night. They can go where they want and they feel safer. Great. That's a wonderful thing. That's what law enforcement is supposed to do. But the other side, folks, the, shall we say, lunatic left, they're screaming and yelling that illegals are being taken off the street and kicked out of the fucking country. They're being sent to Alcatraz, or maybe they're just putting them in helicopters and dropping them in the ocean. That's really fucking believable. What is this, Israel? All right. So, but the question is, okay, that's what they're doing now. On our side, on the Christian, America first. That's going to be a theme of mine tonight, Mr. Oliver. Make sure I'm an America's first guy. America first, America first, America first. Let's see if I make all the algorithms mad at us. And America first. All right. So here's the deal: is patriots are concerned that yes, this is putting the frog in the water, and we're like, hey man, that's a little warm. It's like you'll get used to it. It's cool. We're just going to get rid of the rioters, looters, arsonists, and then we're just going to get rid of the criminals. And this is the slippery slope argument. And yes, it is a logical fallacy, but how far down the road of a logical fallacy do we have to go before we actually feel it? Before we actually go, oh yeah, they're not just locking, they're not just locking the bad guys up. They're not just locking the illegals up. Now they're telling us what to do. Kind of like when Tampon Timmy Walls, remember that guy? That's right. Tampon Timmy Walls, governor of Minnesota. His troops were going down the street, his National Guard troops, not to lock up criminals, not to catch illegal aliens, but to walk down the street and make sure people were not outside on their porches, but they were inside their houses like good little slaves. Oh, yeah, I remember well, folks. I remember a little too well. Anyways, great topic. Darcy, I want to thank you for that. Yes, I'll be watching this very closely because I don't trust them. It is, after all, government. And government, George Washington said, is like fire, right? Government is like fire. It's a fearful master and a terrible servant. Or is it a fearful servant and a terrible master? That's the one. All right, Scotch is already working and kicked in. Let's do this. Mr. Uman, let's have some fun. Who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? And it's Nancy Keg. She's here every week as well. Pow! Super chat donation. That's going to help keep the lights on, folks. And she says, hey, many signs of fall here about a month early. John, a topic of your choice tonight. I'm going to stick with this topic, your observation, that it seems like it's a month early. I've thought about this. Down in Florida on the Gulf of America side, people are saying, boy, the Gulf seems extra hot. The water's hotter. It's going to be a hell of a hurricane season. Other places, trees are dying. Folks, a lot of places, gardens are not flourishing. The wild trees and foliage are dying early. Is it the great swings in temperature, cold to hot, cold to hot? Is it that it's hotter than normal or cooler than normal? It's hard to say. Is it a chemical that's been sprayed from planes? It's hard to say. All I know is things always feel less normal. And please forgive me. You know I love conspiracy theories. I've even come up with my own, which is one of my favorite things to do. I'm like, hey, shit, I just invented a new conspiracy theory because all my other ones have come true. Anyways, when we start paying attention to any topic, we start discovering evidence because we're looking for it. Kind of like when you buy a car. And he's like, hey, I bought a pickup truck in a certain color. Now I see that color everywhere. Hey, my trees at my house are turning brown. So I start looking for news that I go, okay, it's happening everywhere. But then there's this other part which says, why is something like that happening? If you didn't get a big snowstorm, or maybe you did. Maybe you got a cold snap and that's caused things to change. The best thing we can do is what? Number one, always be prepared. ABP. Yep. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, defense. That's the best thing we can do. And while we continue to observe, and like the martial law issue or the weather issue or the tax issue or anything, awareness. Awareness is key. All right, Mr. Uman, it is Sunday Night Live. We first and foremost on Sunday do super chats because it's your show. I'm just the host. I'm lucky enough, fortunate enough to sit here and read your questions and comments and thoughts and predictions. And then guess what? I get to take a crack at it. I do spend a great percentage of the weekend and, of course, every night and a lot of early mornings keeping up on these topics so that I can share them with you and you guys can share your opinions with me. And it makes for a great reciprocal conversation. So let's reciprocate some more, Uman. Who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? And it's my good friend Bob Hunter from Scotland over in the United Kingdom with a £5 super chat donation. And Bob says, John, any thoughts on the Judas goat? I feel I'm being led down the garden path. Okay, folks, you know what a good Judas goat is? The Judas goat is kind of like Judas Iscariot, the disciple of Christ who sold him for, I think it was 20 shekels. You know, it means traitor or turncoat or whatever. So they apply the term Judas to a goat, and the Judas goat is a goat that is put in with sheep at a slaughterhouse. And the Judas goat knows that its job is to walk through the sheep. They open the door and it goes and leads the sheep into the slaughter rooms. Except the goat is taken off to the side and it's given grain and goodies. It's done its job. It's led the sheep up, kept them calm, put them right where they need to go. And sheep being sheep and sheep doing what sheep do is they'll follow nose to ass the whole way. So the Judas goat leads everyone to slaughter. The Judas goat leads the sheep to slaughter. The Judas goat lives well while the sheep are led to slaughter. So the lessons on this, don't be a sheep. And the lessons to us non-sheep is understand who our Judas goats are. Understand that they are selling us all out so that they can live a better life. Judas goat doesn't know they can be replaced any fucking time by another Judas goat, or they can be put through the slaughterhouse themselves. Knowing that, understanding that, my thoughts on the Judas goat, and it's a great topic. We're all being led down the path. The part is when do we stop being sheep? And when do we decide we're going to be wolves instead? Right? Or lions, if you will. Or fucking tigers, if you want. Or a fucking bear. Or an eagle. Take your pick on your alpha animal. Right? Don't be a sheep, though. Now, I do feel like we're all being led down the garden path. And folks, the garden path is that's more of a UK thing. In America, we might say being led down the primrose path. And it's just an expression mean it looks real pretty as you go along. You're just traveling down the path. Flowers and shrubs and bushes and happy shit. And we're all fucking whistling zippity doo-dah out our bungholes as we have a good old time heading to the slaughterhouse. Well, over there in Scotland, I don't know why you feel like you're being led down the garden path. It seems more like you're being led to Muhammad's tent so he can rape you. The UK is in really bad or dire shape, but it's coming to America as well, Bob. I think in Dearborn, Michigan over the weekend, they had, I think, 10,000 of these Mohammedan idiots, going through the streets. They're doing the same thing here now that they did over in the UK. It's getting bad. But this being led down the garden path, we're being told everything's going to be great. Everything's fine. Everything's getting fixed. I don't believe it because I'm not seeing it. Right? We had a big surge in inflation. Trump got elected. It came down some, and it's leveled off and or going back up again. It is stinging. Now, I understand fixing an economy takes more than days, weeks, or even months. It's going to take a decade of reindustrializing America. It's going to take that long to get businesses here, get Americans used to working again. We're going to have to get all these scumbags out of our country. But every time they say they're going to do one thing for us, and I think this is probably true in the UK as much as it is America or Canada or Australia, but it seems to me they give us one thing that is a step forward for us. But behind the scenes, they've done 2 or even 3 things to pull us back. Like we're going the wrong fucking direction. Like we're trying to not follow that stinking Judas goat. And that's our politicians. They're a bunch of Judas goats. No doubt in my mind. Anyways, thank you, Bob. I don't want to spend too much time on it. Great topic. Yes, everyone, eyes out. Keep your radar going. Understand where you're at. And fight the good fight. Mr. Uman, where shall we roll next? And we got, hey, it's Bob Hunter. He's back again already. This time, though, with a $10 super chat coming all the way. I'm sorry, 10 pound, folks. 10 pound sterling note from Bob Hunter. He says, well, he explains the Judas goat. A Judas goat is a term used to describe a trained animal, typically a goat used to lead other animals, often sheep or cattle, to a specific location, sometimes for the purpose of slaughter. Well, there it is, man. There it is. Awesome, Mr. Hunter. I appreciate it yet again, sir. And say hello to the kitty cat one of these days. Be nice to meet him. And Cats crack me up, folks. All right, where shall we roll next? Mr. Uman, we've got, hey, it's Big Dan, the man, checking in with a $5 super chat. And he says, I don't worry about anything that I have no control over. Break into my house, I have full control for that. And I think that's a pretty interesting way to go about it. You said, I don't worry about anything that I have no control over. I wish I were as confident as you. I worry quite a bit. I probably worry more about my sons, my grandson, my mother. But for me, I think I'm kind of with you on that. I don't have a whole lot of worry. I have a lot of wonder. I have a lot of inquiry in my mind. What the hell is happening? Right? That's really it. But what's nice as a prepper, and I hope everyone here is an America first and America first and America first patriot prepper. I hope you're all preppers first, because no matter what the emergency, all of those items is all we need. So if you are prepared, you have the most control. We never have 100% control over our lives, our families, our environment. We don't have that. But you can at least have the maximum amount. And being a prepper provides that. That's something that I've been trying to instill in everyone, is you can't control the circumstances. If we work really hard, as we have, we can influence the circumstances. For example, right now, Epstein's client list is still gone. But we haven't forgotten. We can't make Trump or the Department of Justice or a piece of shit Pam Bondi or all those asswipes in the FBI. They know who they are. We can't make them, but we can pressure them and influence them. But still, we can't make anybody. That's out of our control. Our state governments are out of our control. Our local governments even are out of our control, but we can influence. We can influence my sister. Okay. All right. That's my someone I know. All right. Let's continue if we shall. Mr. Dan the Man, thank you, sir. And folks, I think there's one last thing that's part of Big Dan's thing here is, look, you got to be confident. Understand being prepared gives you strength, health, and puts you in the maximum amount of charge, and it gives you confidence. Everyone else out there is going to be hungry, sick, tired, scared, and uncertain. And that puts them at a great disadvantage. Be prepared so you, my friends, can avoid the Judas goat and keep your head out of the noose. All right, thank you, Big Dan. And now, where shall we roll next, Mr. Uman? I think we got some good stuff lined up. And it's Drew with a $99.99 super chat donation. And she says, I love you. See you in October. Emoji, heart, wink. All right, Drew, now I know who you are because someone gave me a hint. I appreciate that much. Make sure that you communicate fully with Tracy there, Drew. No topic picked out from Drew, but 2 bottles of scotch is what I see there. Oh, that means I get to have a couple of drinks. We're gonna spread these out. Uman's laughing at me already. He looks good today, though, folks. You should see Uman. He's wearing a red, white, and blue, very American shirt. But I would caution you, brother. You look a little bit like Seth Rich in that outfit. And we know what happened to that SOB. Right? He don't breathe no more. All right. There it is. Thank you, Drew, very much. Bam. That's it. Love it. That one was good. That one felt like an IV shot. It's like, whoa, the nice stuff. Anyways, I'll see you in October. Indeed, you as well as Chin Music and Uman. A lot of people going to gather in October for some fun, folks. We'll talk more about that later. Mr. Uman, what topic do we want to hit next? We got Viking You know what? Viking 670 looks an awful lot like that other guy. You know who I'm talking about, right? Mr. Uman? No, you don't see it. Anyways, we're just gonna go by Viking. Perhaps we're getting too close to home with the other name. Anyways, Viking, he says, "Hey, going to London. Oh shit, going to London for the September 13th free speech rally with the Rebel News team." That is just fucking awesome, right there, man. That is awesome. He says, "However, I better not say that I'm there for the rally when I land. They might kick me out." Indeed. Now, I believe Viking 670 is in Canada. There's a Canadian $20 super chat right there.
Yeah, this is all that YouTube garbage with the names going on. Viking is boomer.
Say again?
Viking is boomer.
For some reason, man, I think I got too much ocean water in my ears.
Is your speaker turned on?
That might make a difference. Anyways, yes, that's him. But yes, I mean, going to London, that's committed, man. That is absolutely committed. You know, Tommy Robinson, he gets arrested every other day, it seems like. Women are being thrown in jail. Women! Children are being arrested for being at McDonald's after 7 p.m. And Pakistanis and Muslims and other just anti-British scumbags are raping children, murdering children, kidnapping children, raping women, murdering men, assaulting men. And they get a 1-month sentence or no sentence at all. Maybe some public service, and that's it. Because you know what the defense is? I didn't know the law. I thought it was there's no excuse for not knowing the law. Well, in my country, that's just fine. Oh, then we're going to forgive you your heinous fucking crimes, right? Unbelievable. So yeah, you got to be careful of those people. But yeah, you're talking about free speech. You're trying to show up for free speech to help them fight for their free speech. I get it, man. It is just totally admirable you're heading over there. Folks, everyone, I forgot to say this so far. We're half an hour into the show. Hit the thumbs up. Do it. Hit the thumbs up or the heart, whatever button you got on, whatever browser you got on, whatever app you got or program. Please. Doing that makes things go better. But also share the internet address or hit the share button. Send it to friends and family and loved ones so they can wake the hell up, pull their head out of their anus, look around and see where they're at. In England, folks, they are kicking families out of their homes so that illegals, immigrants, migrants, refugees, whatever they want to call them, they get moved in and the government pays their rent. Talk about a reason to own your own fucking property is so you can't get kicked out of your property to make way for fucking criminals. And once again, all of these people coming in are young men up to age 30 or so, no wives, no children, no skills, no money. They just show up and they just start mooching off of everyone else. It is intentional. So you can go to England, you can go to Scotland, you can go to Ireland, you can go to Canada, you can go to America, you can go to Australia and protest, and they're still doing it any way you look at it. Trump is making a pretense, in my opinion, of getting people out of here, and they're starting with violent criminals. No shit. How about all of the illegals? I mean, just down here in Florida, just a few days ago, this is national news now. Right? I believe he's a Pakistani guy, some Punjabi dude, makes an illegal turn with a semi-truck with a 45-foot trailer trying to go through a policeman's only U-turn on a divided highway. turns his trailer 90 degrees to traffic. A van goes under it. It peels the roof and the lid off the van and kills the mom and the 2 children. He's going to get charged, or he's being charged with vehicular homicide. He should be kicked out of the fucking country. Him and his family and everyone he knows or ever heard of or talked to. Everyone from his province, his country, should be kicked out. It's just that, to me, it's that simple. It's that fucking simple. These people shouldn't be here. They don't care about the rules of conduct between individuals. They don't give a shit about the rules on the highway. They just decide to make a left turn, cross in front of a bunch of traffic on freeway. People get killed. They're like, oh, sorry, I didn't see them coming. I didn't know. Once again, I don't know the rules, so I guess I should get away with it. Unfucking believable. All right, let us continue, if we shall. Great topics. And good luck over there. And please don't get arrested, brother. Literally, don't get arrested. All right, Uman, do we have some more up there? Who's out there? Who's wanting to have some fun? And it's, holy shit, it's Cottage Farm checking in with a $50 super chat. And that means another scotch. And I got to try and pace myself, so don't get me too schnockered too quick, everyone, okay? But I have to stay in good shape. I try and exercise. I do laps at a friend's pool. I was swimming away from sharks yesterday. That was a scary feeling. And lots of exercise. And I keep my liver in good shape by constantly exercising it with scotch. It's like mother's milk, smooth as silk. Cottage Farm says, hi, John and the Prepared Mind family. Oh, my God. I ran across a bear as my cat and I were on a walk around the farm. The bear came running across my path and dodged into the woods. I wish I had a video of my reaction. Well, hopefully you didn't, soil your underwear. I bet that must have got your attention right there. Literally, that can scare the shit out of you. I've never seen a bear in the wild until my son got married, and I was back in California, and lo and behold, came around a curve in the car, and there was a fucking bear in the road. First, I thought it was Bigfoot, squatting on the side of the road, but it was a bear. But that'll scare you. These are apex predators. And even if you see a cub or an adolescent, that means there could be more around. And if there's a mama bear, look out. But I would pay money to see the look on your face and the look on your cat's face as you ran across a bear. Animals are interesting. I don't know if anyone else has noticed, or maybe I'm just paying attention a different way. It seems to me that animals are becoming more intelligent and understanding of human nature and human situations more than they used to. It seemed like they didn't care in the past, but now they really do. I don't know. Is it the animals, or is it just me paying attention to them? In either event, I'm glad, Cottage Farm, you made it. I'm glad you still have, the ranch, the farm, the animals. I hope everything is doing well for you out there on the West Coast. A lot of things about the West Coast I do miss, folks, but I do not miss the political lunacy. I don't miss all the bullshit. Literally. Now, when I grew up, my first 10 years was in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area. I was born in Los Gatos, grew up in San Jose, Morgan Hill, Campbell, Los Gatos area. And I remember all the television. I used to watch KTVU because they had the best cartoons as a kid. So, but there were always these commercials about what an ethnic melting pot it was. They would have kids on TV say, I'm proud to be an Italian American. I'm proud to be a Mexican American. I'm proud to be a this American. There was never a German American for some reason. But, we did have a lot of ethnicity back in the 70s even. With Japanese, Chinese, Mexicans, Italians, That was a big thing. Not a lot of Irish with the Irish brogue or Scotsmen. Not a lot of Scots at all on the West Coast. But I went back there several years ago. I think it was 2018 was the last time I went there. Maybe it was 2019. In any event, everywhere I went, it was hard to find white people. It was interesting. Right? It's not really a melting pot anymore. It's kind of like taking a bowl of soup and dumping an entire fucking container of pepper in it. It's not America anymore. Now it is literally multiple cultures vying for control and dominance in our major cities. I don't know if that's a good way to put it, Mr. Uman. You, being in the Chicago area, really have a good look at it. It's just, where's the I love America? And if you do that, if you start waving an American flag or wearing a shirt like Uman right now, right, you're going to have people shoot you dirty looks. Wear a Make America Great hat again, right, which is a symbol of Trump, but it's also a symbol of America first, right? There's a symbol of that. And people want to fight you. People want to argue. People want to call you names. It's like, how can you argue against the country that takes care of you and protects you? How can you spit at and shit on veterans? And trust me, folks, they do. Even though they'll say, oh, I appreciate your service, they fucking hate you for it. Liberals hate us for it. I know it. I fucking know it. I do. I know it. I'm an old fuck now. I don't look anything like I did when I was a jarhead. Back then, I was leaner, probably a lot meaner. But I've calmed down in my old age. Okay, let's have some more fun. Thank you, Cottage Farm. We're at 300 people live. I want to hit 400 by the end of this show. And this show is one of the most unique on the internet. Is we'll start, and as the show goes, we'll get more and more viewers live. I've never seen another channel do it the way we do it. But yes, be sure and hit the share button, the like button, thumbs up. Let's get to it. It's your show. If you've got something to talk about, super chat button right up there or in the video description. We have Venmo, CashApp, and PayPal. But it's your show. It's Sunday Night Live. It is the Zoo. Mr. Uman, who's up next? And we've got, drum roll, pow, Redneck Roughneck checking in. And he is going to go after someone who's supposed to be on our side, the Republican Party. And he says, them worthless Texas Republicans. They caved to the runaway Democrats and let them draw lines. I won't vote for my rep again. We do not have a two-party system in this house, folks. We don't have a two-party system in this country, in the state houses, in the federal government. We don't. You have Constitution Light, and you have Constitution we don't want it. Constitution Light is the Republicans. They'll only honor the Constitution as much as we can force them, and that's it. And even then, they don't want to. They drag their feet. They drag their heels. They pull their skirts up over their head. They're a bunch of fucking sissies. The only two really strong national level Republicans I can think of are Thomas Massey and Marge Taylor Greene. That's it. The rest of them are a bunch of Israeli sycophants, a bunch of suck-ups to minorities to get money. And the Texas Republicans, they haven't just disappointed me. They have disgusted me. Absolutely disgusted me. We're over 10 days since the demon rats ran away so that they couldn't conduct regular state business. It's a fucking crime. They should be arrested. Their seats should be vacated. They should be censured while waiting to be impeached. If they even going to stick around for that, they should be charged for their crimes. And Texas has done absolutely none of that. Absolutely none of that. Absolutely none of that. They're cowards. And this is Texas. Folks, Texans are supposed to be badass. But the Republicans, and that's, I just made that up, by the way, man. Have you heard anyone else say that? Damn it, I'm late again. There I was thinking I was making some good shit up. The fucking Republicans. Anyways, I'll still use it anyway. I don't know who came up with it. I thought I did, damn it. Fuck. Okay. Anyways, yeah. Our country is being run into the ground, slow or fast. Trump is part of that game too. Like I said, they do one good thing for us, and then they do three things that absolutely sinks the one good thing. These H-1B visa workers, they need to be eliminated and sent to India and get them packing out of here. Right? One thing we've discovered in this country is that when you go arrest all of the illegals and chase them out of a business, Americans come right in and take those jobs. Like, holy shit, they have job openings now. It doesn't matter if it's landscaping or construction. It doesn't matter if it's a white-collar job or a factory job. Americans want those fucking jobs. And those businesses, if they want to stay open, have to hire Americans. Get them the fuck out. Get out all of these Somali scumbags out of Minnesota. Get all these Muslims out of Minnesota, Wisconsin, fucking everywhere. Texas, Michigan. Michigan is may as well put a fucking big square black cube in the middle of the state. Start walking in circles around it. All right, enough of my shit. Where shall we go next, Mr. Ooman? This is your show, crowd. This is Sunday Night Live, and Bob Hunter from Scotland is back. And, you know, I love the Scots so much, folks. Not just because I drink scotch. Not just because I drink scotch. Because it's the best whiskey. I do love Lafrogue. I do love the Levitt and the Glenfiddich. I'm not the Macallan fan that anyone would think I would be. It's just too well known. Too much hype. Glen Farkas is good. There's a lot of great scotches, folks. A lot of great distillers. Anyways, how did I get off on that? Oh, yeah, Scotland. I won't even try and do a Scottish accent because I respect them so much. And it's probably because of history, knowing that the Scots went up against the Longshanks and the fucking Brits and fought them so hard back when they were complete and total assholes. But anyways, Scotland is now starting to fight back the way the Brits and also the Irish are fighting back. It's good to see that fighting spirit. It's your life. It really is. Okay, Bob, he says, thanks, John and Ooman. You are one hell of a great pair of men. Love you from Scotland. They shall never take our freedom. I've got a feeling that God balanced out good men and women and evil orcs. Wow. The orcs, the trolls, the mutated humans. You know, what are orcs? What are trolls? What are goblins from the myths? It's always been people who don't, or not, I don't want to say people, it's always been creatures that don't look like us, that don't have a loving disposition, that are violent, ruthless, murderous, and thieves. And I think that describes these people from third world countries. They don't look like us. They don't act like us. They don't accept. Look, they don't have to be Christians, but they can at least observe the golden rule, right? And that's one that I think we could. That's a nice coexisting rule, right? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's the golden rule. All you have to do is live by that. And when I go to other countries, it's been a long time, I observe their rules. Number one, I don't want to go to jail. Number two, I don't want to be raped in jail or stabbed in jail, right? But it's the golden rule. I will be nice. I'll play good. I'll follow the rules. I won't break the rules. These people can't do that. But the bigger problem is not that they won't, but that they, being trolls, goblins, orcs, and just evil creatures from other faraway lands, not only do they refuse to learn the language, assimilate, and follow the rules, their religious beliefs are that they should attack us, take advantage of us, kill us and rape us as soon as they have enough power, authority, majority, or the opportunity. Read the Quran, folks. The reason this man named Salman Rushdie was so hated, they put out a fatwa on him. This was back in the 80s. He wrote a book called The Satanic Verses, and he started exposing Islam. He started exposing the Aloha snack bar types. He started exposing them. So they put out a fatwa, which is a death, a bounty, a hit. Now, he lived a good long time. I think he did end up getting killed at some point, or maybe he just died of old age. But that was Salman Rushdie. But other people, right, you speak up, they threaten to kill you. You expose them for what their holy book says about us, they don't like it. Whether you're talking about the Quran or the Talmud, there are groups of people out there who believe they should absolutely lie, cheat, steal, murder, and rape, and it's acceptable by their religion. Christianity, on the other hand, does not allow that. It doesn't. But it doesn't say you can't protect yourself. And it doesn't say you shouldn't protect women and children. Right? But it does say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So if them, the orcs and trolls, would do evil unto me, I'm going to do some fucking harm unto them. And I think there's a lot of veterans and America First patriots who believe that. Have I got enough America First in, man? All right, we got Mr. Miyagi or Ms. Miyagi, I don't know who, or Mrs. Miyagi. Says the rules are not to follow, their rules are not to follow our rules. And yes, take advantage of our politeness, our courtesy. I used to love meeting people from foreign countries. I've met some great people, folks. I met this really cool black dude from Sierra Leone on an airplane once. This is pre-COVID. I met some nice people from Iran, and they called themselves Persians. I met them when I was in Hawaii. This was 15 years ago. I've met good people from around the world. South Africans, Argentinians, Brazilians. I meet Cubans now from time to time. Europeans, I've met French, English, Scots, Irish, Germans. Italians crack me up. Oh, there's some funny people. Anyways, I love them. The Japanese I love. The Chinese people that come over that I've met have been great. They're friendly anyways. If they're spies, I haven't met a Fang yet. In any event, all good stuff. Mr. Uman, who's next on the Prepared Mind channel? Where are we going? We got Diana Smith says orcs were mutated elves. Well, according to J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings series and the other books, yes, it goes into that, right? The Middle Earth type books. I read the Silmarillion. I read all of his early works. And they were elves that were, they were once noble, but they became mutated. Kind of like Muslims today are heavily inbred. And inbreeding causes, physical deformities. It accentuates physical characteristics like large noses, large ears, bad teeth, just weird physiognomy. You see the Somalis, they're heavily inbred, and they all seem to have these extremely pointed chins with a light bulb looking head, kind of like a Mastermind from the kids' cartoon. And anyway, but it's the IQ part. This inbreeding by the heavy inbreeding by a lot of Muslim populations causes a drop in IQ, intelligence. And it makes them more prone and easily, how do we say this? Indoctrinated into the cult of evil. They believe, can you imagine someone, if you're average, you have an IQ of 100. If you're above average, you have an IQ of 120, right? Let's just go with that number, right? Retardation used to be 80. Now they've moved it down to, I think, 75 or 70. And that's where a lot of these Somalis and other worthless Muslim countries, they're just so inbred, right? They make AOC sound like she passed kindergarten. But in any event, imagine taking half your brain out and throwing it away. Half your ability to think. That's what it's like to have an IQ of these people. Maybe it's not that they don't want to assimilate, but they can't. They can't handle it psychologically because they're too damn stupid, too brainwashed. Okay, let us move on if we shall. Mr. Uman, we've got RM125 Hooligan checking in with a $4.99 super chat donation. We're up to almost 350 people live. Share the address, folks. Thumbs up, please. And he says, John, your opinion. Oh, wow, I get to give an opinion of my own on the Colt Anaconda 8-inch barreled 44 Magnum. That is a hell of a wheel gun, a hell of a pistol. It's a revolver, folks. It is a big, big chunk of iron. It is a good pistol. It's been around a long time. The 8-inch barrel is good for accuracy. It's a great weapon to have for self-defense. It's intimidating just to look at. You know, a lot of people really believe that the automatics are intimidating, but they're so common these days, right? It used to be that all policemen carried a 38 Special, then a 357 Magnum, right? That was a big deal. Then they started carrying the Berettas and 9mm, and that was cool, right? Because the high capacity. So people got used to that. Was impressive and scary, you know. But I really like the 1911. A lot of policemen I saw growing up carried it. Cocked and locked hammer back, and it's just a intimidating weapon to see in a holster. But you see someone carrying a big motherfucking gun like an Anaconda. Colt made the Python and the Anaconda, these just big meaty looking pistols. Smith & Wesson made the Distinguished Combat 586 and 686. And it's a big, heavy, good looking gun. But this one here that Hooligan's mentioning, 44 Magnum, is an incredibly powerful cartridge, right? You shoot someone, hit them in the thumb, you'll blow their head off, right? It's a lot, right? That's what, Dirty Harry carried the Smith in the Dirty Harry movies, but it's the 44 Magnum, and it's a hell of a round. It will go through the person you're shooting and keep going and hit 2 or 3 people behind them. So look out, be careful. But then again, it's a good thing, right? You just got to line your enemies up. I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna give this bit of advice. If you're not used to having a gun and you need to get a gun because you feel you need to be prepared and you need to have self-defense, start with practicing with a revolver because they're less complicated. They'll hold anywhere from 4 to 7 rounds, depending on the caliber and the weapon, the manufacturer. And you can go up in firepower, and it doesn't get more complicated except it's bigger. Men can shoot a 44 Magnum easier than women can, unless she's well-trained and well-versed and well-practiced. And it doesn't hurt to have a little meat on your bones as a woman. You don't want to be a 100-pound girl shooting one of them, but hey, I've seen it. And I've seen them put it right through the X. In any event, I'm getting excited here about guns. It's a good one. The Colt Anaconda is a hell of a weapon. I don't think you can go wrong if you're buying a Colt, if you're buying a Smith, if you're buying a Kimber. A woman I know now has a Kimber 357 Magnum that also shoots 38 Special and 38 Special plus P. And that's almost too much, But they look good, and I think I'm going to kind of circle back here. Is people are so used to seeing automatics. Now you see a wheel gun come out, and it's quite intimidating. If you've ever, I've got to say this, if you've ever had a gun pointed at you, folks, when it's pointed at you, you become very alert and aware that you could die any fucking second. I've had guns pointed at me, and it's not a fun place to be. Well, anyways, thank you, Mr. Hooligan. And if you got one of those, if you have an anaconda, it's a hell of a weapon. I'd hang on to it. All right, let's continue if we shall, Mr. Ooman. I think Robin had a question. Nope, we're going to go with Bob Hunter with another 5-pound note. And he says, John, you're such a beautiful soul. Is there anything you would like to change about yourself apart from your white love and kindness? I don't want to change the color of my skin. I've gotten used to it after 55 years. I don't want to change the blonde hair. The love I have in my heart, I think is good. The kindness I have for people I love and care about, I'm good. If I was to change anything about myself, probably be more patient. I would be more patient. When I got here to Florida and I went to work for a construction company here, they asked, that was one of the questions they asked. What would you improve? What would you change about yourself? I'd never been asked that before. I basically said the same thing. I said, I used to fire people like a fucking body function, right? You get 1 strike, 2 strikes, you're gone. I don't give a fuck, right? You've been told twice. You didn't learn after the second time, you're fucking done. That doesn't mean I'm not kind and forgiving and understanding, but, don't fuck up. And I think that comes from, my upbringing where I wasn't allowed to fuck up. And if you fucked up, you got in big trouble for it. And then as a Marine, you fuck up, right? When you fuck up in the Marines or the Army or the Navy, probably even the Air Force, you fuck up, people can die. People get hurt. Equipment gets destroyed. Lives can be lost. Mission can be compromised. So I have to draw the line and have a distinction between, civilian life and rough and tumble hard times. At the same time, if people don't get in fucking trouble for once, for fuck's sake, people can get hurt. Things can be destroyed. So I think I should probably be a little more patient with people. It's something I work on, but I appreciate the kind sentiments and the respect you've shown me. And I really do. I appreciate that from all you guys. Everyone here has been just fucking great. The trolls or orcs, if you wish, that show up in the comment section, you guys handle as needed, and I appreciate that as well. I know that we're essentially countrymen, regardless of whether you're in Canada or Scotland or in Belfast, Ireland, or if you're down in London or Australia. Folks, this is truly an international show, by the way. And Bob Hunter has been here representing, him and his cat have been representing Scotland all night. And I appreciate you showing up, man. And we've also got Remy Marsh over there in the Netherlands. I hope he's doing well. The Netherlands is under attack, folks. Just like Germany, Italy, France, Spain, Portugal, and many other countries. They're under attack from foreigners that are there as invaders and immigrants, as well as people who claim to be there on vacation, who just treat them like shit. All right. Thank you, Mr. Bob. And bing, 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 and bing again. We've got Chin Music has checked in with a $52.23 super chat donation. And let's see if he's got something here. He says, hey, I'm unable to attend. All right, Chin. Hopefully you can shoot an email or a comment in at some point. We've got, 1 hour left in the show. So we'll take that scotch right out the gate, though, for you, Mr. Music. And thank you, sir, very much. Keeping the show alive, keeping the lights on, keeping the subscriptions to all the information, folks. The hardest part of my job isn't staying sober. The hardest part of my job is keeping up with all the absolute madness going on in the world. Here's to you, brother. Thank you. Woo! I tell you, folks, it's got a bark. It's got some bite. It's got some peat moss in it. Love it. It's scotch. All right, Mr. Ooman. Let's continue. Keep an eye out for our friend Chin Music. And away we go with the next comment, question, or thought. I've got a lot of stuff to talk about. But here we go. Oh, Robin. That's right. Robin asked this question early. What's that icon video pic? And she's talking about the thumbnail. Looks like a man flying in a trash barrel. It is a trash barrel. It's a mock-up, artificial intelligence joke about Zelensky of Ukraine, right? He's not happy that his little trash can airplane couldn't make it to Alaska to meet with Trump and Putin. Remember when they were talking about early in the war, there was a Ukraine Air Force pilot that was shooting down Russian MiGs left and right. He was known as the Ghost of Kiev. Well, truly, folks, that was a fucking ghost. He didn't live. He wasn't a real guy, and they weren't shooting down Russian jets left and right. It's bullshit. It's propaganda. It's hype. And Zelensky is a complete fucking idiot. I got to tell you, folks, if he could have shown up in Alaska and tried getting in the way, he would have. Instead, he met with the European Union, which means he was also under the direction of the World Economic Forum. And by the way, Larry Fink of BlackRock, Larry Fink, who is an Israeli sympathizer and supporter, allegedly, is also the CEO of BlackRock, the largest investment firm in the entire planet, is now in charge of the World Economic Forum, which used to be Klaus's job. But the World Economic Forum wants a globalist system, a controlled money supply, all nations under their control. They want us, they're evil feet. They're just evil fucking people. Fuck them. I call them evil because that's what I see. But they all met with Zelensky. So Putin leaves Russia and flies to eastern Russia over to Alaska. Trump flies across America, maybe part of Canada, to meet him. Zelensky meets with the European leaders. And while Putin is in Alaska, he sent a bunch of drone bombs into Russia trying to kill civilians and other targets. Huge attack trying to sabotage the peace deal. All it did, is if Putin's going to do anything different than he's already done. His plan is working. Putin's plan is working. In any event, that is Zelensky in the trash can, ridiculous World War I quality airplane, because that's really all they're qualified to do is fight a World War I style battle. All of their money, all of their weapons, all of their technology comes from other countries. Ukraine, I am sorry to say, is a country that should be known for its, agricultural resources, food, and mineral resources, mining. That's it. Oh, well, to the rich and shameless, they also do human trafficking and child sex trafficking out of Ukraine. But that would, again, be the World Economic Forum and all the rich bastards and religions around the world that like that sort of thing. Thank you very much, Robin. Very, 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 very good. Always good having you on the channel, and that made me laugh. Trash barrel. Yeah, he is a trash dumpster fire of a human being. Mr. Uman, let us continue. We got Chin Music. That's right. He did his super chat, and he's here. And he says, Uman, this is my statement. He says, if there is such a thing as white privilege, John got 2 scoops. Semper Fi, you tiny Viking bastard. Oh, I tell you. When I first learned about Hitler, thank you, Chin. I'm going to remember he did a big super chat donation. $52.23. Thank you, Chin Music. When I learned who Hitler was, I grew up with Hogan's Heroes, folks. I grew up with Hogan's Heroes. It was a show. It was a sitcom from the 1960s about American POWs in a Nazi concentration camp. And as a small boy, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, I understood the premise. A war happened called World War II. The Germans were the bad guys, and our guys got captured, but they were in a prison camp, and instead of escaping, they were spying on the Germans and passing information out to the people, right? They were operating behind this. It was funny, but I didn't know about Hitler. I hadn't heard the bullshit about how many people died. I hadn't heard all the bullshit. I didn't hear about, well, the master race until later, until I was like 12, 13. Then I thought, holy shit. I look like a fucking wet dream for Hitler, right? Blonde, blue-eyed, blonde hair, white skin. I was like, shit. And, no one ever called me a Nazi. I always was worried that I got 2 fucking scoops of it. You know what I mean? 2 fucking scoops of Scandinavian German. But I got the good and the bad, Chin. How do I put this? Right. 6'7" at my peak. I'm now down to 6'6". I'm on the downhill shrinking side. Right. I got a lot of that. I got 2 scoops of white privilege, but one of the drawbacks of white privilege is there's no safety net if you're white. There's no safety net underneath me. There's no safety net behind me. And I don't think there should be. But if I were to get in trouble financially, right, there's no welfare for John. There's no EBT card for John. I'm fucking white, American male, European descent, right? There's nothing on the books for me. The zip zero zilch nada. And if I were to go stand on a corner with a cardboard sign, people would say, get a job, honky, right? And so I've always lived ever since I was a Marine, and I found out you get in a lot of ways, you're told because you've got what you've got, because you look like this, you've got an advantage over everyone else. You've got an advantage professionally. You've got an advantage economically. You've got an advantage with women. And trust me, that one doesn't exist. Fucking women don't care. It's personality. That's what determines what they're after or not. Looking like this, it gets you a lot more evil looks than good ones. Anyways, being 270-ish pounds and all that. 2 scoops of white privilege. And also, you get kicked in the ass and told sorry, right? Nope. It's rough. It's rough for everybody. In other words, all I'm saying is we all have our crosses to bear. And everyone has an axe to grind against all of us for different reasons. Whether you're black or white, Asian, indigenous, it doesn't fucking matter. Everyone has our hurdles to overcome, our personal demons to destroy and beat. And I don't believe in living with demons or getting the monkey on your back, right? I believe in defeating that shit. And, but yeah, anyways, Chin Music's a funny guy. I wish you could spend more time. I wish I could spend more time with everyone in person. Lots to learn from, but 2 scoops. Oh, fuck. Try losing a couple fucking $1 million in a fucking divorce and a family explosion. And it's starting again, right? There's my 2 fucking scoops. We just hit and exceeded and passed 400 people live just now. Folks, share the internet address, hit the thumbs up button down below, hit the heart button, whatever it takes. Email, text, message all friends, family, and tell them to come on. It's a great show. They can start at the beginning and go through all of this stuff. It's good. And folks, I don't mind. I really don't mind what color anyone is or what size they are or any of that. Whether you're, look, right, in the service, in the Marines, in the service in general, because I was around Army and Air Force and Navy, of course, Navy and the Marines, right, around a lot of it. It's fun. I love all the different races. I love where I'm at in Florida because we've got Mexicans and Cubans and fucking Puerto Ricans and fucking Colombians. We got blacks. We got fucking islanders. I ran into a fucking Samoan the other day, as well as white people, German people, Italian people. Everyone is here, and we're all polite. Except the other day, I was walking down the street and I had to go to a big city, go to the building department downtown, and a black lady called me a nigga. It was pretty fucking funny. I was like, what? All I did was she looked at me. I said, good morning. And she was like, nah, hell, ain't nigga. It was some weird shit. I was like, wow. It was kind of funny. Just blew it off. I've never been called that in my life. I've been called everything else, right? Ghost, Casper, Cotton, Cottontail, Q-tip, Honky, Whitey, Ghost, Albino, some funny shit. All right, let's move on if we shall. Always fun. Dan the Man Erickson, he's back. Big Dan with a $5 super chat. He says, what's your thoughts on the Trump and Putin meeting? Also wondering where Putin's fighter escorts landed. Well, I'm going to start with the Putin fighter escorts. I do not know the protocol. I don't know the policy for allowing fighter jets into American airspace and onto an American airbase, regardless of the level of security person needed. So I do not know if Putin's his version of Air Force One, Russia One, I don't know if his fighter jets escorted him to American airspace or if they are permitted to follow him all the way in. It wouldn't surprise me either way. But I'm sure it's well understood that if Putin is molested in any way or threatened in any way, that Medvedev has the Russian nuclear football. And I wouldn't be surprised, my friends, if there weren't a few Alpha-class submarines offshore, maybe a couple of missile boats, submarines offshore, saying, you fuck with Putin and it's over. Right? Definitely. Now, I do know that Trump, after Putin got off of his plane, and he was given literally the red carpet treatment, which I think is applicable. But they did do a stealth bomber flyover with American jets, and Putin seemed mildly entertained by it. Once again, if he were to be shot down, bombed, or killed, he wouldn't know it because he'd be dead. But then so would the rest of the planet. So anyways, now to my thoughts on the Putin and Trump meeting. I have said, and I still hold 100% secure, this is my belief system, that Trump nor Putin will ever meet in person to negotiate. I believe they will only meet in person after both sides has agreed to terms. And then they come together for a photo op and a meeting and further discussions, sure. I think they picked Alaska because it's not Washington, D.C., nor is it Moscow, which would be within the range. It would be within the range of a false flag bombing by, well, anyone. Zelensky, European Union, NATO. I don't trust them, folks. I trust the Russians now more than the Europeans. And that is a crying fucking shame. Because the United States of America saved their asses. Not once, but twice. 3 times, if you want to count defeating communism. So, my thoughts on Trump and Putin meeting is they were finalizing their primary deal, their primary objective. There's no ceasefire. There's no war terms, but I'll tell you what, right now, that little bastard homosexual Zelensky, and I don't mind calling him that because that's what he is. He's killing his own people. He's committing genocide to his own ethnic Ukrainian people by continuously and with extreme prejudice sending his own people to their death in order to solicit money from Europe and mostly the United States of America to line his pockets with and serve the World Economic Forum and their goal, and to serve Israel as well. Oh yeah, folks, Israel has a huge stake in this war. You don't have to trust me, research it. In any event, now that Putin and Trump are done meeting and Trump is back in Washington, D.C., he is going to meet with Zelensky, who is flying to Washington once again. And I think what Trump is going to do is he's going to say, Putin and I came to terms. Now, if Trump wants, he can say, we're not giving you another fucking nickel. This is the deal. You have to take it or you're on your own and you're going to be crushed. I believe Trump needs to tell him Putin is going to stop. He is not going to advance past Zaporizhia, the Donbass, right? The Crimean Peninsula is staying Russian. The other two territories over there, they're not yours anymore. You're not getting them back. You're not getting $1 trillion. You're not going to join NATO. You're not going to become part of the European Union. You're a piece of shit. Now it's time to stop killing your own people. And by the way, you owe us $250 billion in minerals to pay for the effort, right? I sure hope all that happens, folks. But those are my thoughts. Now, with respect to Putin going forward from here, another reason I think they met in Alaska was it was strictly a U.S.-Russia gathering. No China, no Europe. How can Russia and the United States of America work together? I think that was genuine. I know Russia supplies a lot of energy and raw materials to the rest of the world, and the United States probably wants it and, of course, also needs it. Primarily for emissions, we need Russian palladium and platinum. And for our nuclear power plants, we don't have enough fuel, uranium, enough processing and enrichment and fabricating to power our nuclear power plants, which supply our country with 20% of our energy. And that is going to grow, folks, because there is literally a nuclear energy renaissance that has been going now for 3 or 4 years, if you weren't aware. And it is slowly picking up steam. Biden's administration completely sat on that egg and broke it with their ass. But Trump is accelerating it. And now, how do I put this? He is fast tracking approvals and permits to get it going here in America. It is going to be a huge investment thing in the future. But for now, it's in, I think, the second inning of what's going to be a massive renaissance in power, because we're going to need it not only for artificial intelligence, which is in and of itself going to consume all of our energy, but for manufacturing and for our general quality of life, it's got to. In any event, I was pretty pleased to hear that Trump and Putin met. We're going to find out where it leads. We're going to find out the European response. But we've got our own domestic war to fight here against invaders, folks. Non-compliant, non-Americans. This is an America First country. It is a Christian nation, and it needs to stay that way. Let us move on, if we shall. Who's next, Mr. Uman? What are we going to do next? What's the topic? Who's the person? It's Bob Hunter. He's back with another £5 note. He says, John, we are all under attack from evil globalist elites. What can we do individually to prevent our enslavement, apart from non-compliance? I don't believe non-compliance is the first step, Bob. I believe the very first step is to stop believing what we're told. The programming that comes from television, radio, internet, the programming, the indoctrination, the brainwashing, the propaganda that comes from our work, our family, our daily lives at restaurants and stores, We need to understand that everything that they're acting on isn't necessarily incorrect, but it may be, and we need to quit giving it credit and think for ourselves. In other words, prepare our minds. What do we need to believe? Well, if you're a Scotsman, more than likely you have a Christian background, and it's a Christian country. In America, we have our Constitution, our Declaration of Independence, and our Christian heritage, our Golden Rule heritage. We need to solidify that. And at that point, you know who you are, you know what you believe, why you believe it, you understand your culture, your traditions, and your law, and then you can move into a position to be non-compliant. The next step for that is be willing to accept the consequences, because there's going to be consequences. Whether it's a fine, having a bank account destroyed, having your social media removed or frozen, or you locked out. Get ready for the negative consequences at your job, on the street, in your stores, your restaurants, because people aren't going to like it. They're not going to like you being non-compliant. If Uman were to wear that red, white, and blue American flag shirt, which is pretty fucking awesome, I'd like one. If he's going to wear that out in public, he could be, jeered at. He could be insulted. He could be denied service, and he could be literally physically assaulted, if not murdered, for wearing that simple shirt. So be non-compliant. The next very important thing I think we all need to do is telephone, email, text message, comment our elected officials. Even if they don't listen to you, even if they refuse to obey, right? 1, follow their oaths. 2, obey the law, uphold our Constitution or rules of government. Don't allow illegals to commit crimes, right? Judges, prosecutors, police need to obey the law and uphold the law and their conscience. So if we can encourage them to do that, that's the best we can do. We can influence, even though we can't control them. Uman says, when you stand up, speak up. It gives others the courage to do the same, and that is absolutely correct. I have said some shit in public and professionally. People are like, man, if more fucking people would say that. I go, you know who should be saying that shit? And they're like, who? I go look in a fucking mirror. That person should be saying something. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to be a dick. You don't have to be verbally abusive, as I sometimes can be. But stand up for what's right, because it does encourage others, and it does inspire others to be courageous, to be patriotic, to be Scotland first, or Netherlands first, or Canada first, or America first. Whatever your country is, you should put that first. That's our homeland, right? That's where we got our, who we are as a human came from our homeland. Telling me I need to accept the LGBTQIA pedophile belief system is wrong. Telling me I need to accept a country like Israel attacking mine with money. That's right. They attack our country with money and by politicians. I don't have to accept their culture or their beliefs or their Talmud, just like I don't have to accept Muslims and their Quran. No. That's not my country. America first. And the more people that speak up and stand up, the more they realize they're not the majority. And the elite ruling class are not elite. They are elected representatives. Even the King of England, Charles, is a putz. And I think everyone fucking knows it. He really is just a fucking putz. Matthew Murray, 1970. Holy shit, you're the same age as me, brother. He says, every time I speak out, they laugh at me. That's interesting, man. Good, let them fucking laugh. Let them laugh. One of my job sites is a multi-story structure that's being constructed, brand new. And I pull up the other day and park right in the fucking road, get out of my truck, and this guy yells at me from the 3rd floor. He goes, hey, John, you're not allowed to park there. And I look at him, and he's a Native American. I say, hey, that's my white privilege. And he just started fucking laughing, right? And everyone else, you could just hear all the chuckling coming off the different floors. Speak up. They can laugh, but it still gets the message through. Just laugh back at them. Do it, right? Now, if they laugh in an insulting manner, good. If they laugh at you because they agree with you, good. But you've spoken your mind. You can go to sleep at night. You can sleep well. You can wake up in the morning knowing that your family, your friends, your coworkers, even if they don't agree with you, at least they respect you for having the courage to say, do, and act in a way that's in accord with who you are as a person. Anyways, thank you very much. Mr. Uman, where are we going next on the Prepared Mind channel? Holy cow, we're over 450 people live. Fuck it, let's get to 500. Share the internet address, thumbs up, do a heart, share. I'd love to hit 500. And it's David on the Bayou with a $15 super chat. And he says, excellent analysis this past week. Your thoughts on whether Trump will offer a unilateral security guarantees to Ukraine. I'm worried we'll get sucked into more BS. Keep up the America First message. America first all the way. Without America, where would the world have been in World War I? Who knows? Who knows? We could have ended up with a greater Franco-Prussian empire. We could have ended up, who knows with what? The Ottoman Empire could have swallowed up North Africa and the southern part of Europe. Who knows? But America got involved, and those crazy devil dogs, the Marines, fought in the Battle of Belleau Woods in France in World War I. That's where they got the nickname Devil Dogs, Teufelhunden. Anyways, good stuff, folks. America first. If it wasn't for America in World War II, what would have happened in the Pacific? What would have happened to China? China was already getting its ass handed to them by the Japanese, right? World War II was a mess. Again, America showed up and battled on the Western Front. Interesting things. Ah, shit. Okay. Anyways, shit, where'd that go? Where'd that go? Did we get that last message, or is it gone? It's just evaporated. Anyways, America first, yes. And I appreciate the compliments on the analysis. I look at everything through my lens, right? And I try and broaden my perspective and try and understand things, right? You know, I can put myself in an Englishman's shoes because, and I can do that. Thank you very much, David on the Bayou, right? Growing up, I loved Monty Python. I loved the Flying Circus. I loved the movies. I loved watching Fawlty Towers. I loved watching Benny Hill, right? I growing up until even as a Marine, the movie Fish Called Wanda. I learned about the British, the Scots, the Irish. The Welsh are still a mystery to me, completely a mystery. I've known Welsh descended people, but I've never really met and gotten to know and understand the Welsh culture. But I've learned enough about it that it's easy to see how the absolute politeness of the British got them in the trouble they're in today. The fucking guilt, the kindness, the generosity. Whoops. That was your mistake, right? That's our mistake in America by we should be tolerant. We can coexist. The fuck we can. And the lesson being learned and the pain and the cost is going to come from that. It should be America first in America, and Canada first to Canada, and England first to England. It really should. And I'll continue to offer my perspective from, well, my seat here in America and the experience from my life. And hopefully it's beneficial to you guys. Hopefully it's just as beneficial to you guys as you have been to me, helping me understand other viewpoints. I'm still trying to become a better person and a better analyst that way. And you guys have been absolutely fantastic. Mr. Uman, where do we go next? Where do we go next? Big Dan, he's back again. Dan the Man Erickson with another $5 super chat. He says, you need a haircut, Marine. Looking like some slacking on your part. I am definitely out of regs, man. I hear you. It has been so busy lately. It's not 0 to 3 inches graduated. I agree with you. I need a fucking haircut. I need to get it flat on the top. Oh shit. Fucking Corsair Trainers, thanks. He says, have to agree with you. He looks like a damn hippie. Holy shit. You guys are fucking vicious. Normally it's Ronan who contacts me and goes, you're looking a little bushy there, a little shaggy there. I'm about 2 weeks way past overdue. I apologize to everyone. I will get it back in regs. What I need is my fucking work to lay off me so I have enough time to stop by my favorite barber shop. My favorite barber shop has newspaper clippings on the wall from the 50s and 60s still. I fucking love it. It's got ads for cars, ads for houses, ads for sports at the time. And mostly it's old men and old vets that go in there. So I show up and I'm, hey, it's that kid again. How you doing there, youngster? Right, these old fucks, it's good stuff. But hey, Corsair, thanks, brother. I appreciate it. And I thank you for all you do. And I thank you as well, Big Dan the Man. I'll definitely get a fucking haircut. Yankee Watchdog says, I guess high and tight is out the window. Well, high and tight will be back. I don't like high and tight. I always liked a little bit of graduation, right? Shaved around the ears and a number one up into the flat top. But even as a jarhead, okay, I was in Camp Pendleton. It was a San Diego or Hollywood Marine, if you will. Went to Camp Pendleton, Camp Del Mar, and then my time over on the East Coast. I spent some time in Lejeune, a little bit at Beaufort, but Marine Corps Air Station Cherry Point. And I tried growing my flat top, and it would fit under my cover beautifully. Right, as soon as I get in, I'd take my cover off, and that sucker would be standing up about an inch in the front. And the fucking officers would come down on me, even in the fucking air wing. They'd be like, hey, you need to get that hair taken care of there, Marine. And I'd be like, sir, the regulations state 0 to 3 inches graduated. Said, I'm well within the 3 inch. He says, well, your hair's looking a little eccentric there, Marine. And I'd say, sir, with all due respect, I'm within regs. And I don't know too many people would argue with lieutenant colonels. Colonels never fucked with me. But the fucking majors would. And I enjoyed the shit out of that. And lieutenants. Does anyone else ever have something against fucking warrant officers? I never understood a warrant officer until they got to lieutenant. They were just jackasses. That fucking chip on their shoulder. Dude, you got to salute. What do you want? Anyways, enough of my military bullshit. Let's have some more fun. I'll get my fucking haircut, I promise. Ooh, man, who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? And Bob Hunter is back again with a 2 pound super chat. He says, Michael Yon knows what's going on. Who's Michael Yon and what did he say? Anyways, thank you, Bob, for that. I don't know who Michael Yon is. Ooh, man, who's up next? We've got G-Man with a $7 super chat. He says, remember, John, it's I can't fucking believe this one. He says it's Jinjiao. We never use the hard R in mixed company. He's talking about ginger. Never the ginger. It's never ginger. No hard R. I love the hard R. I do. What's the fucking difference? You fucking ginger, you. Anyways. Oh, I love it. Folks, I've been seeing a lot more on the internet of people saying, you know what? When you quit being a fucking pussy and a whiner and a sniveling baby, you can enjoy the race jokes. right? I do not like it when people call me Swedish. I like them to use the hard D in Swede, or the fucking Nazi jokes. They do crack me up, right? Nazi jokes, Swedish jokes, Scandinavian jokes. When I grew up, my family was German, obviously, but the Polish jokes would you could break a rib from laughing over the Polish jokes. That no one was safe and nothing was sacred. The Irish jokes, the Italian jokes, right? I mean, I could do an Italian joke and probably get. I did not see that coming. Ah, right. That type of jokes. Right? You have fun and laugh. Watch fucking Jefferson. I grew up with the Jeffersons. Okay, I grew up with Good Times. I grew up with J.J. Walker. I grew up with all of that shit, as well as Archie fucking Bunker and Happy Days. Right? The biggest thing, the biggest racial interaction on Happy Days was when I think it was Pat Morita became the owner of the restaurant. Right? There was one guy, he was the Italian guy, and then it became Pat Morita's restaurant. It's like, hey, there's a Chinese guy in there, right? Or Japanese. I'm sorry. Geez, now I'm in trouble. Oh, shit. Anyways, good stuff. All good stuff. People need to lighten the fuck up, have some fun. Right? I thought it was funny when they started putting a couple gay people in sitcoms in the 70s. We had, or is it the early 80s, was Three's Company, where John Ritter had to pretend to be gay so he could be a roommate with Suzanne Summers and the dark-haired girl. Everyone knows Suzanne Summers, right? The blonde bimbo. Anyways, I thought it was funny. He didn't act like a homosexual, but that was the joke, right? And then it's just gotten stupid. In your face. Political correctness. You have to be tolerant. Woke. And now you're bad if you even oppose any of that shit. And now we're fighting our way back to being decent and having fun. Ow. Decent and having fun. And that's the way it should be. I just got a scotch withdrawal pain there, man. All right, who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? What do we got? We got, holy cow, it's Blue Cord Devil with a hard L on the devil with a $50 super chat donation. Good golly, that means that scotch withdrawal pain, we're going to fix that right now. Woo! With the Glenlivet 15 single malt scotch. And I'm telling you, I know it's got French, it comes out of a French reserve, French oak barrel. Delicious. And here it is, Blue Cord Devil. Thank you for the great support. A lot of you guys are long-term, shall we say, supporters and sharers of information. I want to thank you for that. Blue Cord Devil, Semper Fi. To your health, brother. He says, Hillary sold Wyoming uranium to Putin. Wyoming still has big deposits of it, meaning uranium. Yeah, Hillary, meaning Hillary Clinton, sold a company called Uranium One and all of its reserves to Russia, or Putin, if you will. Now, just before, understand this, a year before the Ukraine-Russia conflict started, Russia sold Uranium One and its assets back to the West. I think they're now owned by a company called Uranium Energy Corporation. Uranium Energy Corporation. They own their assets. They're, I think, a Canadian and American company with a lot of American assets. I spent a great deal of time looking into this, folks. It's good. I'm glad that the uranium is now back in our hand. But what we don't have in this country is adequate uranium supply because we outsourced that to Kazakhstan, Namibia, African countries, Australia. They produce a lot of uranium. Did you know that in Australia they produce uranium in mines, but they have zero nuclear energy? Go figure that one out. But what America doesn't have is you take the uranium, and it takes, from the time you mine uranium, this is why we're in such big trouble. From the time you mine it, It takes 2 years from that point until it's a fuel pellet. It has to go through a process of refinement, centrifuging. It's turned into a gas, then it's spun into a metal, then turned into it's crazy. It's incredible. Wyoming has a lot. Utah, New Mexico, even Arizona. Texas is really big. There's another company called Virginia Uranium. I don't know where they're located at, but Canada is massive. Massive. The Athabasca Basin up in one of the more American-friendly parts of Canada. They produce it, but what America and Canada don't do enough of is enrichment and fabrication into fuel. We're going to be hurt because China is buying everything they can out of Kazakhstan. And Kazakhstan is behind the 8 ball. They can't keep up not only with expanding future needs, they can't even keep up with today's needs. They're losing. Russia is a real big country on enrichment and fabrication, and they sell to America. Folks, energy is more than just oil. It's more than just coal and natural gas. Cold fusion, whether it's real or not, is out there. Free energy, as much as I love to entertain the idea and play with it, I don't know if we can make enough free energy for industrial use that this world needs. In any event, yeah, Wyoming, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, lots of uranium out there in America. We used to lead the world in production of U-308. And now we barely make more than, I think, at the height, I think currently right now we might be able to produce 10 million pounds, but the uranium producers are starting to ramp up because of Trump. And I mentioned the company that bought back Uranium One was a Uranium Energy Corporation. In the last 4 years, the value of their stock has doubled, which is good, right? The people are starting to invest in it. They're starting to grow. They're starting to get enough money that they can grow their mines. But is it fast enough? Is it big enough, fast enough? But yeah, I think we're going to be relying on Putin. And I think that's a lot of what Trump was trying to let Putin know is we have no intention of going after you in a war, because Putin could cripple America like that. He could cripple Europe like that. It's a dangerous fucking game screwing with that Russian bear. Anyways, Blue Cord Devil, it's gone. The pain is gone. The scotch worked. Thank you, sir. You've always been a great supporter of the channel. Where are we going next? We got Chin Music, and he's back with a $9.99 Super Chat donation. And we're going to go. We're about 15 minutes away from the end of the show, but as long as there's Super Chats, I'm going to stay right here with you guys, drinking and talking about what the hell is going on. Chin Music says, dude, you're worried about shrinking an inch. Not yet. He says, my wife still cracks up at the pic we took. I'm 6 foot 200 and solid as fuck, and I look like a garden gnome next to you. I tell you what, Chin Music is one of you folks that I've had the honor and privilege of meeting in person and hanging out with, and it's great when I intentionally met Chin. He was here in Florida, and we got to meet up and have a dinner. And I've met other people just on the fly, from Key West to Central Florida to Northern Florida to Georgia, and even at the RMZ, I ran into people. That's right, folks. In crazy ass jungle, I've met people that know me. It's great, but so you're doing good. 6 foot, 200 pounds, and folks. He's in good physical shape. I guess I do take it for granted. I really do. Being as tall and big as I am, I do work out. I do exercise. Naturally big, obviously, but I think the lesson here is play to your strength. Right? Play to your strength. Whatever you're good at, get really good at. Whatever you're not good at, get better. If you're not good with current events, catch up. If you're not good at planning, learn to plan. Everything can be learned. If you are physically weak, you can exercise and get stronger You may not be a giant strongman competitor, right? You may not be as in good a shape as Chin Music is. He's a little bit older than me, folks, and he's in great shape physically, mentally. We can all get better. Do it. I recommend it, and it'll put you in good shape. Uman says, I never got my ass kicked worse than by a short guy. Well, I got to tell you, I did a lot of fighting in the Marine Corps. And there's this guy named Hines. And we got done with lunch. I had a Whopper meal for lunch. And we got in a sparring match with each other. And he hit me right where the Whopper is, right in the solar plexus. And he put me down on a fucking knee. And I thought, you little bastard. Right? He hit me good. And little guys, they're fast. So the best thing you can do if you're going to hit one of them, and I'm talking about a friendly boxing match with gloves, not trying to kill anybody, is hold on to them really tight so that when you hit them, they don't just fly across the room. That way, all your energy crashes into them and they can't escape it. The hot tip, folks, otherwise short guys, they'll fuck you up. They're fast. They climb on your back. They get on your legs. They're all over the place. It's like wrestling with a chipmunk, man. You'll never catch them. You can't get your hands on them. But if you do, that's when they get hurt. All right. I did a lot of fighting as a Marine. Since I got out, I learned that fighting isn't the best way to deal with things. It's better to make peace than war. But when war is not tenable, then you have to go the other route. In any event, thank you for the laughs there, Chin. You're a good man. Who's up next on the Prepared Mind? It is Purple Pure Blood for Life. He says, I don't understand folks getting offended at all. They still believe their opinion matters. Most think way too highly of themselves, I reckon. Very true. Very true. Very true indeed. Most people, they take themselves too seriously. Now, I understand serious situations call for serious thought, attitude, and action. But really, walking down the street, driving down the street, people get so upset when someone cuts them off. I'm just glad I didn't get in a fucking accident because they're morons. Yeah, anyways, thank you, Pure Blood for Life. Is that Vaughn, by the way? Is that Vaughn's other handle, Mr. Uman? I know he likes to make the pure blood jokes. Anyways, I'm pure blood as well. No Jim Jones juice for me. All right, who's next on the Prepared Mind channel? We got some more. We got time left. We got topics left, and bam, Big Dan's back again with another $5 super chat. He says, my house gun is a 12.5-inch barreled AR-15 in 300 blackout with a suppressor and subsonic ammunition. You know what that means, folks? Well, first off, a suppressor is commonly called a silencer, but it doesn't make things silent. Subsonic ammunition subsonic in the 300 blackout, means it's traveling below the sound barrier, so it's not as loud. It doesn't make as big a crack. 12.5-inch barrel is loud as fuck if you think a regular barrel is loud. But it sounds like you're in good shape, man. My house gun is all of them, right? The bunker is fortified with handguns, rifles, and shotguns. And it's done so for a reason, to help protect my nation, to help protect those that I love and my neighborhood, right? And the Second Amendment of the United States, the Constitution for these United States, is that we should, and of right, and out of a sense of duty, own sufficient firepower to defend all the things that matter to us. And I'm glad, Big Dan, that you've got that. Now, one of the more fun self-defense guns I had was my 1911 45 caliber, 45 ACP. But I had 40. It was 45. It's called ACP, right? Automatic Colt projectile. Anyways, I had ACP ammunition. They were all copper projectiles, 45 ACP. No lead. They were solid copper. Well, they're copper hollow points. I think they were 150 grain copper hollow points. The idea was if I shoot, it's probably going to go through one of the walls of my fifth wheel, but at least it'll get slowed down. It'll tumble enough and hit the ground. But you wouldn't want to slow it down with your forehead. In any event, Big Dan, I love it, man. The 300 Blackout, I know that's popular. I stick with the 5.56 NATO round for convenience and availability. Folks, we're only 20 people away from 500 people live after almost 2 freaking hours. Share the internet address, hit the share button, hit the thumbs up, hit the heart. Let's do it. Let's have some more fun. Thank you, Dan. Massive day for you and for Bob Hunter. And well, for everyone on the Super Chats, I haven't gotten to do any of my own topics I picked out. Crazy business. And Bob is back with another 2-pound note. He says, thanks, John. You know us. Thanks, brother. Man, I tell you, I wish I had time. I wish I had time. I wish I had the energy, right? But we all have responsibilities, family, life, work, our property, etc. But going to Scotland, if you can promise me that I can fly into Edinburgh and not be molested by a bunch of fucking bad guys, it would be great to go up there and do a tour of all the distilleries. It really would. I love the Scots. The last Scot I talked to, I said, hey, is that Loch Ness Monster real? And he goes, yeah, you wouldn't believe it. Just last week, it was spotted again. I said, are you pulling my chain? He goes, no. That's what we tell all the Americans is just last week. Old Nessie up there, Loch Ness Monster. Anyways, the sense of humor that Scots have is great, folks. Let's continue, if we shall. Mr. Uman, do we have more questions, comments, thoughts coming out? And it's Viking 670, and he's back with a $10 super chat. And brother, be very careful when you go to England, man. I do not want you to end up in the cell next to Tommy Robinson. He says, hey, mass shooting in New York City, terror cell. Did you guys look up, if you will, look up for yourselves the Boston Massacre, right? Growing up, was it the Boston Massacre, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre? You look up these old massacres, it was 3 or 4 people. And that was called a massacre. These mass shootings now, I believe they are terrorists. I believe they are terrorists. Now, the most recent one in New York City, it was a nightclub. It was over the weekend here. Several people were shot. A few died. They're not going to tell us. Now, I consider a domestic gang, whether it's a black gang or a redneck gang or a Hispanic gang, it doesn't matter to me. I believe that they're acting in terror, even though they're domestic, because what they're doing is they're trying to affect people's behavior through either the threat of force or the use of deadly force. That's what terrorists do, right? They try to affect an outcome in people's thinking by using terror or fear. So, right, people now fear going into nightclubs. They fear going into churches. They fear going into malls. They fear going into restaurants. They fear going into certain buildings and certain places because we have mass shooters. Some of the most prolific mass murderers for the past 10 years have been transgender or transgender supporting homosexuals. That's been them. They've shot up Christians, churches, etc. 12 hit, 3 were killed. And we know he meant killed because YouTube won't allow us to use words like shoot or kill or anything. It's ridiculous. Even I can't. Even I can't say whatever the hell I want. In any event, folks, This has been a fun show. We got 5 minutes left. 5 minutes left. Where do we go first? What do I want to talk about? I finally get a chance to get to my stuff. Uman says we don't have any super chats for the moment. Oh shit. Let's see this. How crazy do I want to get? There's a man named Muhammad. And there was a woman on the steps of a church that he raped until she died. I think all of these fucking people need to be kicked out of our country. An unconscious woman, did he knock her out and make her unconscious? But she ended up fucking dying. Pakistan, Afghanistan, India, Israel, Gaza, North Africa, all Muslims out. Anyone who has a belief system where they do not honor the golden rule, where they cannot take an oath to our Constitution saying they will uphold it and literally put America first, they need to get the fuck out of the country. They shouldn't be here allowed to live and seek asylum or migrate here and become American citizens or even work here on temporary visas, in my opinion. I'm sick of their shit. Because they don't understand the golden rule and they commit the most heinous fucking crimes. Muhammad. How fucking perfect is that? All right, Mr. Uman. Redneck Roughneck says, don't forget that other shot you owe. You are correct, sir. Oh, that would come from the $100 super chat donation that came from Drew at the beginning of the show. And indeed, I owe Drew and myself another shot. It's Sunday night. I'm going to have, a mild hangover at least. Here's to you. Thank you, Redneck Roughneck, for keeping track. There it is. All right. Pow. Ooh. I tell you, there's something about scotch. The first one just makes himself at home in your stomach. The second one, they start having a good time. Right? Good thing there's no tequila in there. He'd start a fight. And speaking of tequila, our good friend Carlos Granados has a 200 Mexican peso super chat donation. And he says, hey, John, the Bibi lobby, meaning AIPAC or the Israeli lobby, has to register as foreign agents. Just saying. The Alaska meeting was to carve Ukraine. The DC ruckus is another smokescreen, in my opinion, another distraction from the island list, a rope-a-dope. Well, Carlos, it's good hearing from you, brother, and I wish that I had a bottle of tequila. I'd do a shot for you on that one. Anyways, registering as foreign agents, right? AIPAC, the America-Israeli Political Action Committee, has donations that come from Americans, but these Americans have dual citizenship, meaning they're Israelis, meaning their money can come from Israel to them. And then they can turn around and donate that money to politicians. Yes, indeed. And every time I hear an Israeli politician, apologist, Anti-Defamation League, spokesperson, AIPAC, or suck-up sycophant ass kiss, they don't want AIPAC to have to register as a foreign agent, meaning they represent someone other than American interests. And until that happens, we're going to keep suffering from their belief systems. And their belief systems are not Christian. Their belief systems are not our Constitution. Their belief system is what they believe, their religion, and their political motivations. All right, now to continue, the Alaska meeting was to carve Ukraine. I believe that, yes, I believe that Trump and Putin worked out some further details and signed on the dotted line. This is what I'm going to do. In other words, whether there was actual ink to paper, a handshake, which is a gentleman's agreement, it was to determine, yeah, look, I'm not giving up any of my territories. I'm not going to do it for whatever reason, however it works. Right? They're going to carve up Ukraine. This is what we get as America. This is what you get. Because I think Trump is going to go back to shit stain, butt pirate, light in the loafers, belly dancing fruitcake Zelensky and tell him the war is going to end. He needs to do this. We're not going to give you another nickel. We're not going to do it. Right? You're going to give us something in return for what we've done for you. And in exchange, Russia is no longer going to advance. They're going to stop wherever this carved up line is, etc. The DC ruckus, that means troops in DC, the fighting, the big balls incident, and all around the country, it is serving as a smokescreen. It's acting as a distraction, yes, because of the Epstein client list. It is still, to me, at the top of the list. Because if you get rid of the Epstein clients, you arrest them, you prosecute them, you hang them, whatever the punishment is, you kick them out of the fucking country. We identify them so America sees its enemies so that children can be safe. Look, if it's important to make DC safer, what about the children in this country that are being kidnapped, trafficked, and raped by Epstein clients? The reason they don't want to do it is they said it's a national security interest, right? It's national security. We don't want to do it. Well, I tell you what, if we get rid of these sick motherfuckers, our national interest can be America's national interest. Not, oh, well, we're being blackmailed by Mossad or Interpol or England or the CIA or the FBI or the Deep State or the World Economic Forum or the Bilderberg Group or the Vatican or China. You see where I'm going with this? They all need to be exposed and gone. I think a lot of politicians, both senators and congressmen and women, have resigned or chosen not to serve anymore because they knew they were compromised and they had enough human decency, at least, to step down. I'm sure they're still being blackmailed, though. In fact, pretty much guarantee it. Folks, we're after the 2-hour mark. We've done a great show. Absolutely amazing fun. This week, who the hell knows what's coming next? We got Zelensky meeting in Washington with Trump. Europe's going to try and get involved. They're all sacks of shit. Shine Bomb, that's right. Not Shine Bomb Granados, but Shine Bomb, the Israeli president of Mexico. She is not happy because special forces from America are now being told, go kick the ever-loving shit out of the drug cartels. Good. That's going to either ramp up or ramp down. It's going to get interesting politically, folks. There's also going to be economic news that I think is going to surprise people. Get prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. The political left in this country, not happy. Not happy at all. Holy cow, we hit 500 people live, folks. 500 people live after 2 hours live. You guys are fucking awesome. Thank you for all you've done. I'll see you 0 dark 30 in the morning. Hangover or not. God bless you all. Semper Fi. Godspeed. God bless America. And death to tyrants.